Hey everyone, this is Ashley Bocasmar, and I'm back today to answer and show some additional scheduling ideas. I've gotten a lot of response to the last video, and the last video has, I think, prompted some additional questions. So I have been busy at work this morning creating some schedules for you guys. I'm going to do 2 short videos, this being the first of those. And in this video, we're going to talk about schedules that are more like to-do lists. So now that we've made our team plan, now what does it look like on an individual basis for you at home? And so I have a couple of examples I'm going to share with you this morning. So the first example I'm going to show you is going to be an elementary example. Now, I work off of a to-do list every day. I have certain things that I'd like to accomplish every day, and I don't necessarily do those things at the same time every day, but I want to make sure that I do get my stuff done. And so I work off of a to-do list similar to this. And so this morning I sat down and I thought about what is it that you guys are being asked to do and is required? And then what are some things that I might do if I were in your shoes? And so on this schedule, I have for you the required things, or those things that you signed up for on the team spreadsheet in black. And then I added some things in green that I might like to do to try to stay connected with my kiddos. And so the things in green are not required. You're only required to do the things that were on the in the presentation yesterday in that Canvas course that you participated in. But I thought I might share with you some things that I like to do. And so this is a simple schedule. This is a starting point for you. If you'd like a copy of this, we can definitely get it out to you. You can email me. My name is Ashley Bocasmar, B-O-U-K. That should be all you need to be able for my name to pop up in the district email list. So if you'd like to reach out to me, you definitely can. So let's start with the things that we're required to do. We're only required to grade every 48 hours. So that means grading every other day. So that's what you see reflected here on this weekly work sample, is I have grading on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, we are required to work our discussion board monitor times, so I do have that listed for every day. You will work the time that you agree to with your teammates. And then also, I have return contact from students. So every day you'll need to be doing those things that fall under messages, which is, calling students back, texting students, maybe emailing your students. But I would also send a weekly email on Monday as well. Just to let them know, hey, I'm here. This is what I expect this week. If you have any questions, let me know. A couple other things I like to do. I like to wish my kids happy birthday. So I do that on a weekly basis, not a daily basis. I also like to touch base with students that I'm worried about. So with our students being at home, especially at the elementary level, we have those students that we might be concerned about. You might just want to reach out to them. Call, text, email, whatever you prefer. And so that might be something you might want to do one day of the week. On Wednesday, I like to check in with my kids who haven't submitted any work. Now, the reason that I do that on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how my week goes, is because I want to make sure that I'm catching them before the weekend so that I can say, hey, I haven't got anything from you this week. Is there something you need help with? And if they say no, and I say, well, could you please make sure you get your stuff turned in by Monday? That gives them the weekend to get their stuff turned in so that they don't have to be, behind when the next week starts. So I try to prioritize that on Wednesday or Thursday. And then at the elementary level, you guys might just want to do a Zoom session to say hi to your kids. Like, they just want to see your face. They miss you. I know my 4th grader misses his teacher. So just to be able to say hi and see you, that would be very important to your kiddos. And then on Fridays, I would try to check in with parents whose kiddos you haven't received work from. Maybe they're struggling. Maybe their computer died. Try to touch base with them. Make sure they're aware that their kiddos haven't been working and see if there's anything that you can do to assist them in getting going in the course again. Now, this plan is for elementary. Why? Because you have smaller groups of kids. Again, this is just an idea that I came up with to share with you. Now, I also did a math schedule, and the reason I did math is because I was a math teacher at Pasco eSchool for 5 years, and this is something that I've lived and I've worked through, and so this would be maybe something that might be feasible if you're a high school math teacher or a middle school math teacher. Again, same concept. The black are the things that you're required to do. The green are things that I would suggest. Now, for math, I always graded every day. The reason that I felt the need to do that was just because in math, the faster we get feedback, the faster as teachers we can catch issues that students are having with content and address those. So that would be one of my suggestions if you are planning on teaching math. Also, same thing, weekly expectations. You might want to, in math, maybe have a Zoom session at the beginning of every week, kind of previewing the content, and whatever kids want to come, they can come and see what they're going to be learning about for the week. So that might be something you might find helpful for your kids. And then also on Thursday, if I were a math teacher, I might do some kind of open help session. We know that kids struggle with math a lot, so that might be something I might want to do, and that would fit any subject area, really. I chose to use math as my example because that's what I'm most familiar with, but obviously you could tweak these and you could make them what you want them to be based on your students' needs. So that might be something that might be helpful. And then for this one, I have check in with parents of kids who haven't submitted work every 2 weeks, just because at the middle school and high school level you have more students, and the reality of calling every parent or texting every parent every week is not going to happen. So I reach out to students who haven't worked on Wednesday and say, hey, I haven't got any work from you. Here's what I need from you. If by next week I still haven't got any work from you, then I'm going to reach out to a parent and let them know what's going on. I'm a huge proponent of student responsibility, and so I think that they should be responsible for their own learning. So something like this might be a schedule that you might be interested in as far as a daily schedule that you might be interested in to help you kind of plan how your week is going to look. I also want you to understand that a couple of things. I've gotten some questions like, I'm not sure how I'm going to grade. Well, remember, you're grading, the computer is grading multiple choice stuff for you, so you're not going to be hand grading that. The only thing you're going to be grading is going to be your things that are worksheet based or essay questions or that sort of thing, show your work type questions. So I taught middle school math with 186 kids, 5 different preps, and I gave myself about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day for grading, and that was more than enough on most days. So be aware that you're not going to be drowning in grading, okay? The computer is going to help you with some of that. And then also, people worried about, I have all these kiddos, maybe you have a caseload of 125, and you're like, how am I going to answer 125 kids' calls every day? Trust me, they're not going to call you every day. Typically, on average, I would say you're probably going to field maybe about 20 calls a day, and you'll probably get tons of text messaging because that's the way they prefer to communicate. And text messages are much easier to reply to and quicker than phone calls. So don't be overly concerned about that. It is totally feasible to do this job within 37 and a half hours a week. Remember, you are not required to work 8 to 8, Monday through Friday. You're required to have 37 and a half hours of work within those 8 to 8 hours weekly. Okay, so you're not working 8 to 8, you're just having available hours within that time frame. All right, if you have questions, as always, let me know.